Hi everybody, this is Mr. Keller, and I have a little problem for us. I have a rational number divided by a second rational number, or in this case, a fraction divided by a fraction. And I also noticed that there are some letters here. Now, sometimes a teacher may go ahead and tell you what the values of those letters are, or variables in this case. For instance, I might say that A equals something, or B equals something, and we could substitute those in. But in this case, I am not going to do that. And believe it or not, it actually makes this problem a little easier to solve in the long run, because we're not actually going to solve it. We're just going to simplify it the best we can. We can't solve what we don't know. And since we don't know what those variables are, we're just going to go ahead and simplify this. So we're going to do what we always do when we have a fraction divided by a second fraction. We'll keep the first fraction. So we'll keep that 4ab divided by c. But instead of division, we'll multiply it by its inverse. Or in this case, its reciprocal, which is going to flip this fraction upside down, 2c over 3a. And now that we have done that and rewritten this, we can go ahead and do some cancellation, or also known as looking for factors in the bottom that either match with factors in the top, or that two numbers that share common factors. That way we can reduce them a little bit. But I'm looking at this 3 in the bottom and this 2. I don't believe they share any factors, because the only factors of 3 are 3 and 1, and 2 is 2 and 1. So dividing them by 1 would not help us. This 4 does not share any factors with 3 either. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to reduce any of the numbers. But I do see that we have a few letters. Like I see an A here and an A here. And I do see a pair of C's up and down as well. And since we know that if we have any number, like 2 over 2, or even negative 5 over negative 5, or even if we have x over x, really any number over itself is equal to the number 1, which is important to know when we're trying to simplify fractions. So we can use that knowledge to see this A, that's my eraser, sorry, to see this A here on the bottom and this A here on the top, and go ahead and say that an A divided by an A is going to simplify to 1 over 1. And same thing with this C on the bottom and this C on the top. A C on the bottom and a C on the top create a 1 over 1 situation again, which now basically simplifies this as much as it can go, because I don't see any B on the bottom here to pair with the B on the top. So now let's go ahead and do what we do and multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator straight across to get 4 times 1 times B times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. And we'll keep the B there. And you may be curious as to why I put the number in front of the letter or the variable. This is called the coefficient, and anytime we have a coefficient multiplied by a variable, the coefficient or the number always goes in front. Let me put my division sign there, for my fraction, and now I'm going to multiply the bottom. I have 1 times 3 times 1 over here, which is just simply going to be 3. And now I'm just going to double check to make sure that I can't reduce this anymore. I don't believe that 3 goes into 8 or that they share any common factors. And I don't know what B is, so I cannot substitute anything in. So I believe that I have simplified this the best that it can be.